welcome to the Skin Talk. My name is Johnny, and of course, you know our guest hosts, Marina, Mike, and Dan. And today we have a very special guest. We have Rosie.
Hi.
Hi, Rosie. Tell us a
Hi.
little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I have been in the cosmetic industry for a little over 10 years. I'm, getting older, and I've always been very obsessed with, anti-aging situations. I want to prevent any signs of aging if I can. I'm married to a Black man. I need to look young. It feels good. It feels good. So I've worked in cosmetics for years. I worked with Miss Marina in the past, and skincare has been kind of a love for me. And I currently now work in the cosmetic medical field. So I'm a treatment specialist where it comes to laser facials, injections. We also have skin tightening treatments that use like radio frequency. And a lot of those are preventative that go hand in hand with good skincare. So that's my passion.
Yay. Thank you for joining us, Rosie, and your compliment to the show with your background. So today we're going to talk about our self-care love. What are we loving? What are we doing for our self-care? And then we're going to go in and dive into the skin topic of the day, where we're going to talk about hyperpigmentation. And then following that, myth busting into something that's a bit controversial out in the market. And then we're going to do an Ask the Panel segment, which Dan is going to ask us questionnaires that is featured on iPeel Profiles. So without further ado, let's get started with self-care love. What are we loving right now? So Rosie, you're our guest. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah. Clear and Brilliant treatments. Clear and Brilliant. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're under the tree of like Allergan, and I think they morphed with a different company now, but they also do cool sculpting, different things like that. But Clear and Brilliant laser treatments kind of mimics the idea of microneedling, but it's way more effective with way less downtime. And it's a great preventative treatment that goes hand in hand with really good skincare. And it helps to take away current signs of aging, larger pores. It balances your skin back out so you're not too oily, not too dry. That's been a must for me. So I originally started out with a Clear and Brilliant regimen about 2 years ago. You can go in and get assessed by nurses that provide the treatments, the registered nurses that do the treatments. And they take a look at your skin and decide kind of like what your problem situations are, your problem areas are, and what they want to target. And Clear and Brilliant can target two things. It can target, the texture. If you have acne scars, it can target the pore size. And it also has a different tip that they can put on there called Permea that can target hyperpigmentation. So some people need both. So sometimes they'll say, I want you to do both the Permea and the original tip for Clear and Brilliant. So we're going to alternate the treatments. So they'll come up with a regimen for you, whether it's, I want you to do 4 treatments, 6 treatments, 10. For me, I wanted to target the pores and texture. So I started with 6 treatments. And every single time you go in for a treatment, they're going to assess you. They're going to, see where you're at. And then that way they know when you're done with your regimen, if you kind of need to do maintenance. So for me, especially with this COVID new life, and I'm mostly at home. I'm not going to lie. I haven't been the best at taking care of myself. So the Clear and Brilliants have been golden for me for my skin. So every 4 weeks I go in and do the treatment. And it's definitely helped keep my skin beautiful.
Where are you at on the tracking? Are you on near the 6th treatment?
Oh, I finished my 6 treatments. So I finished my 6 treatments originally, and then I ended up deciding to do maintenance. Maintenance for Clear and Brilliant, when you first start out with your regimen, by the way, you want to be faithful and do them as close to the 4-week mark as possible. They won't take you before 4 weeks because there is a little bit of downtime, and I can go over that. But they want enough time for you to heal. So it's okay if you go past the 4 weeks, but since it's working with your body, it creates an inflammatory response and makes you overproduce collagen. it's better to do it closer together. So I really just I was pretty faithful with that. And it took me 6 months to do the 6 treatments. And then afterwards, you know, they always assess. And so for me, I'm kind of back doing them like once a month, just because I waited so long. Everybody's different though. That's why it's really good to go in for assessment, because not everybody will necessarily need that. But I'm back now. I'm at my 3rd one when it comes to maintenance. So I've been doing my maintenance for 3 months.
Yeah, that means you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll post some of that information down below or towards the end of the segment, just in case you are interested in what Rosie was talking about. Thank you for all of that information. It's really interesting.
So one of my favorite things to do while I'm at home, living in Southern California, I'm spending a lot of time at home, is that I do like to use different diffusing blends to create different scents. So even though I'm not traveling anywhere, it's sort of every day it's a new experience when you're using a different blend. So I go to Sage. As I traveled across the US and Canada, I would see this store all the time in various malls. And, you know, I just kind of was like, what is this about? So I finally went in, I got hooked. So I have a little diffuser here. So it looks like this. You just fill it up with water. You put, you know, like 10 drops of an oil blend. And what I like about their blends is that when I first started using a diffuser blend, it would be like 1 cent. And it's kind of boring, but they have all these really pretty different scents. And so I just walk in and usually buy whatever and just to see what it is. But that's my favorite at home escape at the moment.
So you cocktail the different scents?
I don't because they're already blended. So I feel like they've done a masterful job, where in the past I've tried to do it and it usually smells like, you know, disinfectant or something.
Oh, that's interesting. I have seen those stores near the Sephora's and Nordstrom's when we're in the malls. So, yes. Or out the malls. Such a gentleman.
One thing I've been loving is my new mask. It's a tool that I use to regrow my hair. I've been bleaching my hair myself since COVID. You know, I cannot see my hairstylist to get colored, and my hair started falling and breaking. So I bought this device. It's called iRestore Laser. It uses laser and LED light. It has 282 lasers that stimulate your scalp to regrow hair and make your hair thicker and shinier. You use it every other day. It's 25 minutes. You put it on your head and then the light goes on like that. You see beaming? See? And then, so you wear it for 25 minutes. You cannot tell it's beeping, but the light therapy and the laser, I've been using it for 3 weeks. I feel my hair is getting thicker. It does take 3 to 6 months to start seeing, you know, results. It's also FDA cleared, just like Dr. Dennis Gross. It's a medical proven device to regrow hair. And then after a year, if it doesn't work for you, they give you money back. No question asked. So my hair is getting shinier, longer. I definitely start seeing the difference. But you feel
Is it around the price point of the FaceWare Pro?
No, so this device is $1,200. Shit. It is but it
wow,
is
I really hope it's working. I hope it's working.
Yes, it is working. It had a lot of great reviews, and it's a professional, their pro device. They have 3 levels. This is the most advanced one that you could do.
I could see all of the lasers inside. I love it.
Does it, this is a weird question, but sometimes devices like that have like a lifespan, like a limited lifespan where the lasers or whatnot will only work for so many pulses or lights or whatnot. Does it have anything like that, or is it just, it works? Do you charge it? Okay.
It works.
That's a weird question.
No, some of the other ones that I had before, I feel that light bulbs are getting not as strong as it used to, but this one is, so far it's working really well. They do give you warranty on it, and after a year, if it doesn't work, you could get your money back. But the clinical studies are amazing. I did a lot of research before I got one of that.
Wow.
So my new.
I love it. Well, we will all need it someday.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, tell us what your self-care love is.
It was going to be something different, but recently with events in my life, I have found myself recovering from medical surgery / emergency. So one of my friends who's also a long-term client of mine and also a nurse, she recommends something that I've never used before, and it's really to help bounce back from that kind of event. With you can recover faster. It gets you like vitamins and electrolytes direct into your body if you just add it to your water. And so she sent me these things called Nun, and it's Nun Hydration. I've never heard of it before, but after I did my research, they're just absolutely, like, they come in different flavors. So my favorite so far is tangerine lime. But it basically helps to get it into the system faster than instead of taking like a multivitamin or anything like that, because it's going to go straight through the fluid system and then gets to your kidneys, livers, and bladder faster. So I do like the idea. So far, it's, I've only been in recovery for about a week and a half now, and I feel like it is working, like it is super helpful. So I'm like beyond grateful to my client, obviously, because she actually sent it to my house via Amazon. Like, she just ordered it, and I came home and it was already waiting for me. So it was really nice for me. So obviously love her. But so far so good. Like, I actually like it. Because sometimes those additives to waters, they taste really sugary, or they just taste like they're not good. And this one is not the case. It's actually really, really good. And I can pace myself. So that's the best part, is like, okay, I'm done with my glass. Let's switch it up, kind of thing.
How many different flavors did you get?
She sent me 5. So there's tangerine lime, grapefruit orange, blueberry acai, and then there's one that's like for energy, which has got like a lemon to it. So I've tried 4 out of the 5 so far.
Ooh, that's a nice little variety.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, oh, okay. The grapefruit one, I'm just not a fan of grapefruit. So the grapefruit one just gives me that taste that I'm like, eh. But so far so good.
Yay, I'm glad to hear. That's always useful, especially when you're dehydrated.
Exactly. I was thinking, like, oh my God, all those times I was hungover, or all those parties, or like Pride weekends, I'm like, this would have been so helpful.
Oh my gosh, you read my mind.
Completely.
I'm gonna have to get information on how to get that. So that's interesting. Moving along, I have my self-care love as bath soak. So this is a detoxifying, therapeutic, and aromatic bath soak from Alpha Apothecary. And it has different salts from French Gray to Pink Himalayan, Dead Sea Epsom, infused with lavender and rose essential oil. And it really helps my full body recovery from the week, whether it's from driving, working out. It's a great kind of taking care of yourself, your body, put your body first sometimes. So I like to add a little bit of CBD oil to my bath as well. And it's a guaranteed best 15, 20 minutes. And you can get that on the website through, I'll leave the information at the end. So that's my self-care love, and thank you everybody for participating in that. So let's move along to our skin topic of the day, and let's talk hyperpigmentation and how do we handle it. So let's kick it off.
I think step 1 is always trying to determine the cause of it. So
Yes.
is the cause from a hormonal displacement where it was someone pregnant, or was it sun exposure, or is it technology exposure, or is it acne scars or age spots? There's so many causes that I think the step one is always try to figure out what the cause is, because then you can go towards treatment.
I agree with that, especially
100%.
with someone that drives a lot may not think, oh, this is all pigmented, and now I don't know why. We drive a lot, especially with us, we commute, so.
I actually have a client who has been working from home since March, since the shutdown, and is very specific to the fact that they are in front of a computer from 9 to 5 nonstop. It's not like a break kind of thing for a lot of us. We get breaks and we can manage our lives. This person has to be in front of that computer 24/7. And because she felt like, oh, I'm not in the sun, I don't have those issues. And before the work at home, she didn't have a single dark spot on her face. And she doesn't go outside because of the whole situation. And now, almost a year later, she's seeing hyperpigmentation on her skin that has formed because of the excess of technology. And a lot of people don't know that blue light essentially still triggers the melasmites in your skin to still give you that same response as if you had sun exposure. So now she's starting to wear sunscreen on her calls, which is really good. But now we have to go into the treatment where you would just treat it like a normal hyperpigmentation. But now the fact that she didn't know she needed to wear sunscreen for her calls was like the aha moment for her.
Yes, I faithfully put on that SPF 50 and make sure it's physical. You want physical sunscreen to truly protect you. That's my whole thing when I am talking to clients is, are you even using an SPF? Because we need you to use the right type of SPF. That's a whole nother episode.
The other thing, go
who's
for it.
wearing sunscreen now?
I am.
See, every day, right? Just part of your routine.
Has to be. I can point on that, Michael, because I've been working pretty much since the shutdown, mostly just in front of my computer all day long, sometimes 12 hours a day. And it dawned on me too, okay, wait, I'm getting the blue light situation. My eyes have been affected. And I'm like, I'm not that old, but I'm needing bifocals now or something. What's going on? So they actually have blue light glasses. And so I got these for whenever I'm on my phone or I'm on my computer working. To me, I think that goes hand in hand. The sunscreen, yes, if you're working in front of the computer. And then if anyone wants to try something like this, that's helped too. So
I can attest to that too, because I am blind. These are contacts. And I will pay that extra little money for that blue light protection. Yeah. Anybody else on how they handle SPF? Hyperpigmentation.
Well, for me, I've been enjoying the sun. I'm European. I like to tan. And now, since I'm, more cautious, but now I see everything coming to the surface, hyperpigmentation from the sun, and it's pretty scary. Every day something new comes out. So my, number one thing is now wearing a sunblock and getting the laser facials just to remove that. I didn't realize how bad it could be until now.
I did a consultation with a client and she was like, hey, I'm getting these sunspots, or she thought sunspots, dark spots, hyperpigmentation on her shoulders, right? And so I actually had her show me her shoulder. And I was like, hey, that does look like sunspots. You should probably reapply your SPF when you're out in the sun and stuff. But when she was on the other shoulder, I was like, hey, what's that kind of darker? You see the sunspots, and then just to me, it didn't to her, but to me, it stood out. There was this really kind of darker spot. And I asked her, I was like, hey, have you had that looked at? Because I was like, something's not right there, because it's very different than the rest. So something could be up. So I told her, I was like, I want to see you in a month. I want to redo the consultation. I want you to actually mark how big it is, and I want to see if it grows. That's the idea. It did grow. We did get to a dermatologist, and she had a precancerous cell.
Wow.
And it's something as simple as and to me, like what I tell clients now is really check your body. Really look to see, is anything growing, anything adjusting? Like, let's say you have a little bit of a growth. Okay, not a big deal. Just check to see, does it grow? Does it hurt? Does it change? Because if it's changing, that's when you need to get some medical help. If it doesn't change and it's just there, then you're good.
And that's a great tip, Mike. I think for a lot of people, they just don't know how to observe. I mean,
Well, I'll say I'm very fair, and I'm somebody who used to get like sun rashes when I was a child, so I definitely had my fair share of sun damage. So probably 10 to 15 years ago, I had a series of IPL treatments to remove sun damage, and I'm very freckly, as you know, I'm like, oh Mike, can you see any? But you know, I'm a very freckly person, so really investing all that time and money, and IPL treatments are not very comfortable. And I know technology has changed a lot since then, but using vitamin C in the morning, retinol at night, religiously applying SPF really is the best way. So, you know, that's what I do. That's my insurance policy. And I have that, you know, I now live in Southern California. I'm from New York, but I mean, I'm out in the sun a lot, but I don't have any sun damage. And even I had a little spot coming up here, and using the Dr. Gross IPL dark spot correcting serum, it went away. It's gone.
and I love how you say insurance policy
Yeah.
because it's a pretty penny to do these types of treatments, and who wants to waste their money? So
Well, and like Marina, like you get laser treatments done. How uncomfortable are
They're not uncomfortable.
Okay, so that's the thing. It's my treatments were very uncomfortable. It was like I would describe it as taking like a rubber band and putting it on your skin and snapping it.
Oh, see, for me, it's like I've been in the sun and got a little bit of burn.
Yes,
And that varies per different treatments. IPL,
Yes.
that I've done IPL, like I have call it my white lady sun damage chest. So I've done that. Those you definitely will feel that, but there's differences too between different lasers and what they can do. And IPL is really I mean, they say they can help broken capillaries, but it's really strictly just hyperpigmentation. And a lot of hyperpigmentation, you know, like you were saying earlier, Michael, about that, you know, you need to see what the source of it's from. Some of it can be really hard to get rid of even with laser. So it ends up being a higher cost sometimes when you do it that way, because you're going to need a lot more treatments. You know, so I think that depends. There's other treatments that aren't as painful, but yeah, I agree. I've done IPL before, and then you just kind of feel like I scratched myself to death on my chest afterwards.
Rosie, tell us a little bit about what you do then, and for the hyperpigmentation in your field.
So for me, it's definitely preventative. You want to do the sunscreen. And I love that you brought out physical sunscreen. I didn't know the difference until I was like maybe 5 years into the cosmetic industry of the difference really between the physical and chemical sunscreens. And then also a lot of times when you do go do treatments, whether it's surgical treatments or laser treatments, they give you physical sunscreen supply because a lot of times it can actually help you heal faster too. So it's, you know, it's good, it's healthy for your skin, it's preventative as well. But so that's something I definitely do. The other thing is I don't have a lot of hyperpigmentation issues on my face. Thank you, God. I think because I've been so preventative with that, but I didn't ever think about talking and taking care of my body until later. So that's where it's come into play. So when I deal with my hyperpigmentation, I've done some IPL on my chest. And then I've done the Clear and Brilliant, but I did their Permea tip on my chest. And I have a lot of that. It's like not even just natural freckles. It was like later coming out freckles that were like sunspots. And that's helped tremendously. So for my chest, I only had to do 3 of them, and it's about 90% gone. So I want to do more in the future. Go for it. Sorry.
No, just question. So, you know, thinking of the Fitzpatrick scale, When I worked in medical practices, unfortunately, people who were on the darker side were not able to. How has technology changed since then?
I love that you brought that up. So IPL can do miraculous things, but it's just older technology that is strictly attracted to pigmentation, and it can't differentiate the difference between your skin and the pigmentation. And so if you have warmer skin tone, you're most likely not a candidate. So that's why where Clear and Brilliant came along. It has slightly a different approach. But what I can say about Clear and Brilliant Permea when it comes to hyperpigmentation, and this is just from working with my nurses and working with clients, it works way better to target the hyperpigmentation on people with warmer undertones. People that have more pink undertones, like me, it tends to be a slower process. But for some reason, I don't honestly, I can circle back and let you guys know about that. But it works so much better to target hyperpigmentation with people with warmer skin tones. So it's kind of a, and it helps with, collagen production. So it's a bit of a win-win for them. For me, I just have to do a little bit more treatments than they would.
Would you say that a person with a warmer skin tone would just need the 6 treatments, or need more?
They typically will say 6 treatments for optimal results.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, if you have like severe hyperpigmentation or severe scarring, even like acne scarring, you're going to need a lot more. It's a mini Fraxel treatment, so the more the better. The nurses, though, wherever you go, they typically, when they're assessing you, they're going to be very honest. So, they want to give you that regimen because they don't want you to just do treatments and then, and just throw something at you and you leave and you don't have results. They're going to be honest with you with what they think you need to do to get results. And sometimes they do talk about topical treatments with, like, I can't think of the word, pardon me, but working with that as well. Like, you should do this, sunscreen, and you need to use these type of topical treatments to target it to get best results.
I love that you said preventative, because whenever I talk to clients, I'm like, look, the median cost of a physical sunscreen is about $40, but treatments of like IPL or any of those kind of laser treatments are thousands. So would you rather spend $40 and be preventative, or you want to be reactionary in 2 years and not be able to go on vacation for 5? So
100,
that's the question.
100. Yes, exactly.
And I love now how there is even physical aspect of a sunscreen in, CC creams and other makeup.
Long time coming on that one.
Oh, yeah.
What are some topical treatments that you guys, other than like sunscreen and whatnot, what are topical treatments have you found that maybe have worked well in your experience of hyperpigmentation?
Dr. Dennis Gross IPL serum. It's one of those few things that works on every single level of the Fitzpatrick scale. The way I always talk to clients about it is I go, this is your step before a laser. If this works, you don't need a laser. It's that simple.
And what's really amazing about it, so it's a 10% L-ascorbic acid, so it's vitamin C.
Okay.
Clinicals, we tested it against 4% hydroquinone and beat it. So topically, it really is one of the best things. And, anybody who is spending money on laser treatments should be using this as their insurance policy, because, I go through those treatments again. So I love it. And it's my morning vitamin C.
Wow. That's anything over hydroquinone. To me, if I have patients or clients, I'm like, that's like a last resort, I'd rather them find something else, but that's awesome to hear. What is it called again? It's from Dr. Dennis Gross?
Yes.
So it's called IPL, which stands for intense pigment lifting. So it's a play IPL in
But yeah, that's worked for multiple clients, and I've worked for prior dermatologists who used hydroquinone, or they use these crazy cocktails of vitamin C's and stuff, and I'm like, why are you getting worse because we're thinning your skin too much, or there's too much issues? This one is one of those few things that I've had a single client have a reaction to it. Like, it's a game changer. It was truly a game changer when I learned about it, and it's a game changer with all my clients too. So I actually really love it.
And it is safe for pregnant clients as well.
That's very,
So-
very good to know. Oh, that's very, because a lot of them don't want to use specific things. They don't want to use glycolics and different things. So that's awesome to hear.
True game changer on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a great discussion, you guys. Thank you. So let's move on to our Mythbuster segment. And this one is, I believe, during this last year has been really controversial. And this one is about ingesting collagen. Is it worth it? So let's open it up for discussion.
No,
I think yes.
it's that simple.
Oh.
Ingesting I'll say it. If you take a collagen supplement and you ingest it, where is it hitting first? It's going to hit your stomach, which is filled with the acids to break down the collagen fibers before they ever arrive to your bloodstream or muscle mass, meaning that it's actually going to just deposit into the stomach, work its way out the kidneys and liver. I just got this whole education in the hospital too, so here we go. So it works its way out its liver, its kidneys, and then it's leaving your body. It's not going to get into the bloodstream the way that people say it's designed. You're better off getting a topical treatment or even an injectable treatment, but to ingest it is the problem. It's the minute it hits the stomach acids, it breaks it down and doesn't allow it to deliver into the body.
Yeah, let's get some time.
I got Rosie over here just staring.
So let me share you my story, okay? And if it's
Okay.
TMI, please let me know. So I have an autoimmune disease that I suffered with for a decade. I ended up having to have a massive surgery to save my life. But prior to that surgery, I had a proctocolectomy. I had my large intestine removed. It was pretty massive. Okay. So prior to that, my autoimmune disease caused my guts to bleed, and I couldn't absorb nutrients and different things. And so I didn't want to take the medications they gave me because it was bad, steroids, lowers your immune system kind of stuff. So I just became obsessed beyond all reason, fixated every second I was awake of the day to figure out how to get better. And I got myself in remission quite often, but my goal was to stop that bleeding. So I was constantly looking up forums, people's experiences. I found a lot of different herbs and stuff that helped. Somebody brought about collagen, and it was collagen hydrolysate. So, and it was from cow tallow. So meaning, it's in a powder form, it can dissolve in cold or warm water. And I ended up getting a canister of it because I just wanted to stop my bleeding. Like, I knew it would help with joints, things like that, which I suffered with pain for that, but I needed the bleeding to stop. So anytime I know that I have an herb or a supplement that it doesn't hurt you to take way more than they suggest, I would take way more than I suggest. But I learned a couple things. My bleeding minimized drastically from it. And then I'll add this part on later, but I'll go with this. I did notice, because I was working as a makeup artist at that point, my skin started looking really gosh darn good, really ridiculously good. And I don't have bad skin, but I noticed a difference. My lashes were getting longer, and I was losing lots of hair as well from my disease because I couldn't absorb nutrients. So I was losing a lot here. I stopped shedding. So, and then of course I go into research. It's like, oh, I didn't put 2 and 2. I should know this, but that's all that I could think of. And of course, when I stopped, that all stopped. So that was that's kind of why I'm a believer that it definitely does help. But there are specific ways I think that you should take it. So I'm not saying anyone's wrong, but that's my personal experience.
No, I always talk about collagen supplements and the idea that people use them as an anti-aging tool. I think any kind of supplement, any kind of herb or natural remedy is going to have multiple facets of things that can heal your body for. But most people take the collagen as a way to avoid doing a skin regimen, and the idea that, oh, well, then it's like the fountain of youth of a collagen gummy or some crap like that. And I'm like, no. Like your example is a perfect example of what I try to tell clients. Like, look, if you're going to use supplements, use them for a purpose that benefits your body, but don't think a collagen supplement's going to be your anti-aging. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. I was freelancing for a skincare line way back when, and I was at a store that had a lot of things, and I just heard a lady saying, oh, because she had a collagen powder that's a trendy collagen powder in these beauty stores. Oh, it doesn't work for me. And I just was like, well, you know, I'm the herb queen and supplement queen. So I always like to tell people how they should be taking it. So I asked her, well, how are you, what are you doing? You know, and it was, she's not doing a good skincare regimen. You got to take care of everything on top as well and inside. But she's like, oh, I just do 1 scoop every day. And I'm like, no, it tells you instructions. You're supposed to start off small and then you grow up to a certain amount of scoops per day, you know, which you can have in 1 sitting or, you know, but people don't necessarily, you know, they're not educated, I guess that's what you can say, of how to use things, the benefit of things. And so that's something
People
when I help.
don't read directions.
Don't.
Ever.
They don't.
Case in point, anytime you buy anything at IKEA, people struggle.
Yeah, yeah.
That's me.
How do you take your supplements or your collagen?
Me? So I'll do a little bit in my coffee in the morning, and I'm not from the South, but this is a total Southern thing. It's almost gives you like you put a slab of butter in your coffee, kind of. I like it. And I don't really like creamy coffee, but this is pretty good.
What brand do you use?
Great Lakes. I like that one the best. They have, it's from beef tallow. They have ones that are, if you're a pescatarian, they call it fish. I don't want to try that one. And then they don't have a vegan option. And I think it's harder to find that collagen when it comes to the, you know, from my research anyways and experience when it comes to, they do have options out there, not like the Great Lakes company that I go through, but I think it's harder to find the vegans one out there. And I don't think they're as effective.
My take on collagen is exactly like Michael said, like it's a supplement to what I'm already doing. But I did start trying it. I won from Moon Juice, which is plant-based. And I thought it was okay. I mean, I really enjoy my morning coffee, so I don't like adding it to it. I'd make like a tea or something, or I do like to take adaptogens. So I'd mix it together like, but you know, it calls for 2 tablespoons, and I find that that's so much. So I was only doing like 1, but I'm not very good at doing it every day, which I know is a problem. I'm curious, just adding it to see. Like, I don't think that it would replace any sort of medical treatment or anything you do topically. But, you know, I heard joint support. I was like, great, you know, I'll take that. But yeah, I'll try out this Great Lakes. And so you say start small and then build up.
Yes, and they tell you that when I researched it, but I was just going above and beyond because I wanted to heal myself quickly. But what happens is if you go way too much with the collagen, you actually can break out in acne in weird places. So I would break out on spots on my back, and I never had acne on my back. And of course, once I slimmed it down, but then once you read the instructions, I need to read the instructions, they tell you purposely you have to build it up.
I will say mine did not come with those instructions. And another thing, just while we're on subject, Moon Juice, they have this magnesium. I think it's called magnesium because it's supposed to help you sleep. But like, I think it's 1 teaspoon you take, but it really upset my stomach. And so I kind of, and yeah, taking magnesium can be rough on people's stomach. I do like half the serving. So I do think when you are taking supplements, you should do a little research, but there's none of those directions in the products I have. So that's good to know. And I do have a friend who's in, who does nutrition. And I told her, you know, I started taking this and it's upsetting my stomach. She's like, just take like 1/4 of it till you get used to it. But I still can't take, and I drink it before bed. So
interesting.
It's always funny. It's always funny when people say, oh, I will never do supplements and da-da-da-da-da. I always laugh because I'm like, okay, well, when you cook, do you add oregano, basil? How about turmeric? And then they go, yeah, of course I add that. And I'm like, you know, that's a supplement, right? You know what it does to your body, right? Like turmeric takes down inside inflammation. So if you can add turmeric to your meals, that's a good thing to do. So I'm like, you know, Eastern Asian medicines use a lot of spices and herbs. if you can add it to your food, you should, because it just helps overall health.
I agree. I love using spices and different herbs in cooking because I don't really take supplement. I take enzymes supplements and digestive supplements, but I use a lot of herbs to kind of give you a little boost.
Same thing, just not in a pill form or powder.
Something I wanted to suggest, yours, it would be different for you, Daniel, because I know you would take yours at night, but like for talking about, oh, like you should take multiple, like you want to take more scoops because it seems like it's a lot, things like that. When I originally, started taking it when I was ill, I just looked at it as taking a supplement. I didn't, at the beginning, I never mixed it in with coffee or anything like that. I just mixed it in with some warm water, and I did a lot of scoops. So I know that sounds kind of weird to people, but I just think if you look at it in a different viewpoint, that you're taking this supplement to go in hand with the way you take care of yourself, take it as a supplement instead of just trying to add it in like it's a pleasurable drink. That's not everybody can do that, but that's my suggestion. So like if you get yourself up to the point where you can do 3 scoops a day, and they're, pretty big scoops, put it all in that warm water, stir it up, and just shoot it. Like, I know not everyone wants to do that, but you get what you need and then you get it over with.
Very true. And I think it goes hand in hand topically for collagen and internally. And I agree with Mike, don't use it as a actual step in your regimen. Take it as like it is, a supplement. So Dan, I'm gonna hand this off to you because for Ask the Panel segment, I want everyone to be aware of our IPO profiles and to just give us a couple questions from your Instagram.
All right, so this is for anybody who's ever read a Vanity Fair. At the end of it, they have the Proust questionnaire, and that's actually like an old vaudeville game with a set of questions. So I kind of took my take on this. I created this Instagram account for our Dr. Gross lovers, and so there's a couple of questions that I ask everybody. So, what is your most treasured possession?
My doggies.
My family, my kids.
My husband, my cats.
I was gonna say like, family and dogs and stuff, but then my mind went, but I don't possess them. They're with me on this journey in life. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, like I'm trying to think of an inanimate object. God. Oh, you know what? I have an inheritance. My grandparents have a turn of the century old phone, the one that you pull the thing down. So it's actually still in working condition. I have it hanging on the wall out in my living room, actually. So it's like a really good conversation piece because people are like, what's that? And I'm like, that's what phones used to be.
Yeah. Get the young kids now don't even know the like.
No. or remember the phone on the wall and it had the long cord. You used to hit your brothers and sisters with it. Like,
yes.
You could beat a person with that. So that hurt.
So one thing that's quite funny is, especially if my husband was here, I love buying objects. You see, like, I just have like a million things that I've had for a very long time. I have this little glass bird that belonged to my grandmother. And so I've just had this forever. I had brought it to college with me, and it's sort of lived in every place I've ever lived. I've moved around a lot, but I've always had this little glass bird.
So that bird has seen a lot.
Yes.
It's got secrets.
It's got secrets. Okay, next question I will go with. Which fictional character do you most identify with?
Okay.
Have you all ever seen the cartoon American Dad?
Yes.
So my character would be Roger the alien. That is me in a nutshell outside of work.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, that's me. Inappropriate city every day of my life.
Oh, you know what? People say I give them David from Schitt's Creek. That I act very much like the character David.
I've yet to see that show, and I've heard it's so good.
So good.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. You can binge watch that in a few days.
Gonna do it.
What's yours, Dan and Marina?
Well, if you would ask my son, he would definitely say Princess Leia, because I'm very bossy, great leader. So
Oh my God, you have to do the buns then.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta do the buns.
I do wear it.
That's awesome.
It's easy.
I love it.
I would say for me, it would definitely be Goldilocks because she never settled until she found what she liked. So I'm gonna go with Goldilocks.
Feet up.
Let's do
What
one
is your
more.
greatest-
And
What is
you're
your
near West
greatest
Hollywood, so
experience?
where's the Three Bears at?
Oh, man.
What is your greatest extravagance?
My husband, he's too much.
My collectibles. So me and my partner collect Funko Pops, which you can kind of see in my background right over here. That's just one of two bookshelves. So we have the IKEA shelf that's like 16 squares. Both of them are full top to bottom. And then we have it separated where it's like my collection, his collection, and what we collect and the, you know, the categories we collect. So like I collect mostly animated stuff. Yeah. Animated stuff, and then like Superman, and then he's Wonder Woman with like 80 stuff, and it's fun. It's extravagant. It's stupid, but it's
I would say mine would be all my tools.
I was gonna say that. You just put on a helmet, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
right.
Oh my gosh. I bet I can't. You have to take a picture of your tool like wall or tool room.
It's huge.
I want to see it.
When
Yes.
this pandemic's over, we should go to Marina's house and
Have a spa day.
Yeah, I have a tool spa day. I would say mine is I buy my expensive skincare that works. And then loungewear. Don't judge me for this, but I did Kim K's Cozy Collection. I bought 4 sets and it was a lot, but it's worth it. So
well, I mean, now it's like, why spend money on clothes? What are you trying to get ready for? Like, okay.
yeah.
Herself. It's ready for herself.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'd rather have the comfy sweats.
I will say my greatest extravagance, I just thought of it, is I bought a 22-in-1 facial body machine for myself before thinking, oh, I want it, you know, for my clients. But I was thinking, I said, you know what? Let's prepare for the future. So I'll just buy a 22-in-1 facial body machine.
Now, what are the 22 options?
I couldn't even tell you all.
See, again, didn't read the directions.
But I said,
plug and
I know
play.
at least 12 of them, you know, but it keeps me learning.
Yeah.
It's always good to learn. And I like doing high frequency on me.
My biggest splurge is definitely going out to eat. I like to go out to eat. I was somebody who I used to eat really healthy, really clean. I didn't really care about food. And then somewhere like those taste buds changed. And like, I love food. You know, I like dream of food. I love to go out and eat and have cocktails and wine, and it's expensive.
Yeah. Do you have HBO Max?
I do.
Have you seen Selena Plus Chef, the show?
I have not.
Okay, you guys have got to watch this. So it's Selena Gomez, and she gets famous chefs to come on. She's in her kitchen, they're in their kitchen, and basically the chef teaches Selena Gomez how to make the meals that they send her the ingredients for, right? So one of the episodes, they make donuts from scratch. You guys, it's easy and it's hell of good. So you go and buy the canister of biscuits from like Pillsbury, You cut the center out, you put some oil in the pan, and then you just take cinnamon and sugar in a bowl, you fry it, and then throw it in the cinnamon and sugar, and then put it on a rack to rest. It is so good.
That sounds really
Oh
good.
my God, that sounds really good.
It was so easy to make. I made it last night, and it was so good.
I want to make it clear. I like to eat food, but I don't like to make it.
Make your husband do it.
Pay somebody to make my food.
Just make your husband do it.
True.
But yeah, that show is really good. You guys. You'll learn, like, it's very interesting because you can learn with her, you know, like they actually teach you how to cut and how to cook it all. But so far, like, the episodes are hilarious because she literally doesn't know how to cook. So it's just funny to watch it all happen. It's hilarious.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for participating in the questionnaire. And again, check out at IPO Profiles on Instagram and DM if you'd like to participate in it. So it's for all skincare lovers. And we'll be wrapping this up. We do want to plug our Dr. Gross master classes. Check it out on Instagram at Dr. Dennis Gross. On his page, there's a link that you can sign up for the master classes. And I guarantee you'll learn something new every and each time. So, Rosie, would you like to plug anything before we wrap it up?
Wear your sunscreen. Thank you guys for having me on. It was wonderful to talk to people, and I love having as many, even if it's virtual, social gatherings as I can with this time. But yes, I'm excited. I want to try, Maureen, I'm going to reach out to you because I want to try that, that serum. So work on my white lady chest problems, but yes, wear your sunscreen, preventative, and if you're going to take those supplements, you know, they're supplements, and do your skincare. So yes.
Time, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself. You're worth it, and you're always worth it. Till next time, see you later. Bye.
Bye.